In this profile of the coastal zone, I'll point out the difference between shore, coast, and coastline. The shore is a zone that lies between the low tide and the highest elevation on land that can be affected by storm waves. The coast extends inland from the shore as far as ocean-related features can be found. These include sand dunes, salt marshes, and mangroves. The width of the shore varies up to hundreds of meters, while the width of the coast may vary up to tens of kilometers. The coastline marks the boundary between the shore and the coast. The shore is divided into foreshore and backshore. The foreshore can be referred to as intertidal zone or littoral zone. The backshore is above the high tide line area and it's covered with water only during storms. The foreshore can be exposed during low tide and submerged during high tide. It's the area between the tides. Intertidal means between the tides. The near shore is never exposed, but it's affected by shallow water waves. It extends seaward from the low tide area all the way to the low tide breaker line. Beyond the low tide breaker is the offshore zone, which is deep enough that waves rarely affect the bottom. The beach includes the near shore and the shore and is the entire active area of the coastline that is affected by waves. It extends from the low tide breaker line all the way to the berm. Think of the beach as a deposit of the shore area because it consists of wave-work-like sediment that moves along the wave-cut bench, this flat, eroded surface. The area of the beach above the shoreline is often called recreational beach. The berm is the dry, gently sloping, slightly elevated margin of the beach at the foot of coastal cliffs or sand dunes. It is the best spot to set up your beach chairs since it is above the high tide line, so you probably will never be surprised by an incoming high tide. The beach face is the wet, sloping surface and it's where runners jog because the sand is hard and packed, providing a paved-like surface that is easier to run or walk on. Offshore, you find one or two longshore bars, which are sandbars that parallel to the coast. You also find the longshore trough, and this is where the shallow water waves begins to break. Let's take a quick virtual trip to two different places on the coast. I need you to identify in these two places the beach, the beach face, the berm, and the coast. This is our first site. Can you locate the start of the coast? Can you locate the start or the beach area? Can you locate the berm and the beach face? A is the berm, the slightly elevated dry area of the beach. The beach face, the wet sloping area where it's easy to run. The beach area from the berm all the way to the uh, low low tide breaker line, the shore from the back shore to the foreshore, the end of the low tide, and the coast will start here at the coastal cliffs and extend inland as far as ocean related features are identified. This is our second site. Where is the berm? Where is the beach face? Where does the coast start? The slightly elevated area of the beach, the berm, the beach face, the wet paved like part of the beach, the sand dunes indicating where the coast begins, the berm and the beach face are part of the beach and the shore. Remember, the difference between beach and shore is that the shore only extends to the low tide, while the beach will extend to the end of the near shore, which is always submerged, even in the lowest of the tides. And the coast, which extends at the start of the sand dunes all the way inland until ocean features are present.